What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Omniheroes video. Alright guys, glad to hear that everyone has been enjoying the tier list and they've been helping folks out. I want to just thank you guys first off for all the comments, whether it's in-game or on the comment section of the YouTube channel. Obviously enjoying the videos. They're helpful to a lot of you and they're helping you progress through the game in a pretty decent rate, whether you're free to play or pay to win. That's kind of the purpose of the channel, right? So just want to say a quick thank you. Now, today I want to talk about something else. We've now discussed all of these synergies when it comes down to the Valkyrie synergies. The next thing we want to talk about now is the next set of synergies. Now, I'll probably be doing a tier list for these as well, just so you guys are aware, but it is important to talk about them preliminary so you guys understand where we're coming from, and then a tier list will appear for this as well because it's important. So let's talk about this. When you click on your hero section, there's going to be a little filter here. We're going to talk about faction synergies, okay? So this is going to be the important one that you guys need to know and how they work and what to expect, okay? So, let's talk about how to actually get those in the first place, right? It's through the talent system, right? There you go. So you have to bring your talent to your unit talent all the way up to here, which is going to be through using the rares, and then you unlock it there. So you have to actually be able to unlock it through the talent system to even open it up in the first place. Okay, so that's where you get this. First off, faction synergies, where they come from and how they're located. So this synergy here, for example, the faction synergy is going to be derived from the faction that your group is from. So for example, when I click on the Dawnbringers, they're going to mostly be, all of them are going to actually be from the Imperial faction. Okay, so make them synonymous. Imperial faction equals Dawnbringers. Okay, so if you click here, you can see everyone here from this section is from the Imperial section as well. And I want to talk about which ones are worth focusing on and what you should be aiming for and how to get them, essentially. Okay, so first off, remember this. The Valkyrie synergy, you can go 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're most likely going to be Ethereals, Valianters, Glorians, etc. With Dawnbringers, it doesn't work quite the same. So you're gonna have a mix and match depending on what you're looking for. Okay, so for example, this Dawnbringers group has three Ethereals, I should say, sorry, 3 right there. You have 3 of the Valianters. You've got 4 Valianters actually, if you put Marlene in there. You've got 2 Avengers. And then you've got 1 Doomsdayer and then 1 Glorian, okay? So remember that. So if you're planning to go for this Dawnbringers group, you can't do a full-on Valkyrie synergy. So it does break up the mold a little bit, and it's sometimes useful, and I'll explain the reason why, okay? So for example, Dawnbringers here. So if you have 2 of them, each basic attack by synergy teammates has a 20% chance to initiate a combo. This effect can be triggered 1 time per round. Now, what a combo essentially is the ability to do another basic attack over and over and over and over again. So if you ever seen Dorabella, for example, for some reason do like multiple basic combo attacks, that's what that essentially is, okay? You can see here as well, if you get 3, each basic attack by ally units has a 20% chance to trigger initiate a combo. So this is now each unit, not just yours or the synergy teammates. This effect can be triggered only 1 time. This one here raises it by 50%, and then lastly here, this one initiates it twice per round rather than 1 time. So this can be very, very powerful. For example, like against the Abyss boss, if you're looking to put it together like Catherine, Dorabella, Apatros, Atropos, Celine, and Albert, for example. If you put those guys together, you can have a lot of basic attacks come through, okay? So it's very important to note that. So these faction synergies are very, very powerful, but they do break up the Valkyrie synergies a little bit, okay? So sometimes this is a very good thing to have. So another great place for this, for example, would be, let's go to the Wilderness, a place like this, where you're fighting like a Crystal Woods golem, right? Where if you have multiple units, they have multiple chances to attack. Well, this gets tacked onto that, and then you can even do additional combos on top of the original bonus you get for having the proper synergies in place. So this is another really good spot to have that useful synergy to take place, right? So keep that in mind. Now, the next one I want to talk about, of course, is going to be right over here, the Verdians, okay? Now, Verdians, do something called a sync attack. Okay, so this one actually, you can see here, majority of them again are going to be mixed around, and they're all woodland. all woodland, okay? So this one here has a little bit more Glorians this time for you, has a lot more Doomsdayers because they're all mostly woodlands. You have 2 of the Valianters and you have 2 Mystifiers. So you can actually get like a 3 and a 2 here, which is actually a much better combination. And what this does is when a synergy teammate takes action, they have a 30% chance to start a sync attack. Sync attacks deal 100% basic damage. When any ally does it, there's a 30% chance to create a sync attack, again doing 100% damage. You increase the damage percentage but not the damage chance, and then also over here you can see here the damage chance. Now I haven't honestly seen this one, so somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a sync attack is when 2 units are attacking together with their basic attacks. I believe that's what that is. I could be wrong again, so it'd be nice for somebody to come in and say yes you're right, Payne, or no you're wrong. So unfortunately I can't show you that one. So let's hope somebody can comment in the comment sections to let me know if I'm correct about the sync attack being 2 units attacking at the same time. All right, moving on here to the next one, and that's going to be the Shadow Arches. Now this is an interesting one. Increases dodge rate of synergy teammates by 15%, increases dodge rate of all allies by 15%, increases dodge rate of all allies by 15%. When an ally dies, there's a 50% chance to increase the attack of all other allies by 10% for 3 rounds. And then this one here is 50% chance to increase by 20% for 3 rounds. Now this one here, believe it or not, is actually really good for Northern Expedition because so many of the bosses require you to do a lot of dodge mechanics. Having those guys in the same spot as the bonuses is a great way to add additional dodge because it stacks, right? You can have 40% dodge from having the actual bonus and then an extra 15% dodge if you can muster up 3 units in the Shadow Arch realm, okay? So that's going to be a really important one, especially for places like PvP. Dodging mechanics are fantastic because your survivability matters just as much as the damage output you have, okay? So there's that one there. That covers the Shadow Arches. So PvP and Northern Expedition is where these ones are going to shine the most. Okay, moving on. All right, going over to the Divines. Now this one here is going to be the Celestial one. Now this is hard to get obviously because they're all Celestial units that require this, as well as you need the talent system for most of these maxed out, or not maxed out, at least through the rares. And what this does is provide you an incredible buff. So at the start of the battle, increase crit rate by 15% and attack for all allies by 25%. Now if you can get the second Celestial, at the start of the battle you get 15% but 50% attack increase for all allies. When an ally unit dies, purifies all debuffs on all allies and dispels all buffs from the enemy. So having just 2 of these unlocked is incredible, guys. Incredible way to beat units who do a lot of buffing, especially. And again, Mystifiers, against Mystifiers who do a lot of debuffs right on you. So it's a great way to counter that. So if you have 3 of them at the start of the battle, increase the crit rate by 15%, attack by 75%. When one ally dies, that part stays the same. So that's no different there. And then the last one is attack by 100% if you have all of them. Sorry, 150% if you have all of them. Sorry. So this here is really, really hard to achieve because of course you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these units to be across the board, and you can see here none of them actually are, except for I guess Thalos and Catherine, and then Clotho, who no one's going to use, and Talanus. I'm just trying to see if there's somebody else. And that's it, right? None of them are actually from the same synergy group except for those groups. So you're breaking up your Valkyrie synergy completely for this. So you, for the most part, it's good to have 2 of them at the very least, so you guys can get the 2 bonus buff here at 50%, 15%, and the ability to remove debuffs and buffs. So this one here is very, very hard to achieve and to keep the same level of synergy for the Valkyrie synergies and this at the same time. But it is an extremely powerful way to increase your attack and your crit, and also a good way to dispel debuffs and also, sorry, to remove debuffs and dispel buffs on opponents. So incredible one, okay? All right, moving on. Let's jump on to this one here. Now, this one is probably my favorite one, and this one's going to be the Royals. So at the start of the battle, all allies receive shields equal to 100% of attack for 2 turns, and then if you have 2 of them at the start of the battle, all allies receive shields of 125% of their own attack. Each stack of buff ally units gain increase their damage boost and damage reduction by 1% up to 20 stacks. So if you're running a full buff team here, incredible, and this goes all the way up to 2% increase, 150% shields, 175 to 3%, and then 200% shield, up to 4% of increase for damage reduction and damage boost, and you can go up to 20 times of that stack. So if you look here, this one is the more balanced one because you can have, for example, Mastima and Karnak and Ethereals, then have like the 2 Valianters, Nyx and Makaria, and that's what I usually run. I usually run these 4 together, and if you add Eudoria here, that's even more power here, because you're now adding, or Victoria, you're adding yourself 3 and 2, 3 and 2, and this shield and this bonus to damage and damage reduction is incredible. So the Royals faction synergy, you can actually run a full Royals team and still have the Valkyrie bonus energy of 3 and 2, one way or another, if you have the units for it. So this to me is the best one because of that fact alone, is the fact that you can run 2 and 3 of Valkyrie synergies plus however many rolls you can get on there, which is maximum of 3 to make it optimal, right? So this one here is one of the hardest ones to get, but one of the best ones as well. Okay, so that one there is the one I would personally focus on. That's just my preference though. All right, and then lastly there is going to be this one here called the Royals, which we just talked about. So sorry, that was actually the same thing. So the reason why there's 2 of them here that can be Royals, right? So, and then there's of course the Deviants, which is also faction synergy. So let's talk about that one right now. So Deviants here, you can see here you run demons only. Okay, so there's the Celestials, which is the angels, and then there's the demons, which are Deviants. So this is a really powerful one as well, because it actually gives you Holy Shield. It increases leech rate and attack. So you can run a couple Valianters here, which is kind of nice. So you can do 1, 2 here, right? So 2 of them there. You can run a couple Glorians, which you have. Actually, no, only 1 Glorian, a couple Avengers is what I meant to say. You can have Arcadina, and you can have Janna here, and then a couple of Mystifiers with Medusa, but you don't want to use her, obviously, and Dullahan. So don't use those. The 2 best ones here are going to be most likely these 2 here, Nyx and Makaria, and then Arcadina and Janna, if you can get them. If you put these guys together, you're in for like a pretty unstoppable team. Adding an extra like Avenger or Ethereal to the group, or a Valianter to the group, you're set to go, right? So what does Deviants do? At the start of the battle, increases leech rate of all allies by 15%. At the start of the battle, increases the leech rate of all allies by 15% and 20% respectively. And at the start of the battle, this is where it gets crazy. You receive something called the Holy Shield, which completely blocks and nullifies all damage coming in. Okay, as you increase it, your attack and leech goes up, but also the amount of Holy Shields you can get. You can get up to 5 Holy Shield stacks, blocking all 5 attacks, pretty much an entire churn for you, especially if people are using AoE. Plus you get yourself that 50% leech rate and 30% leech rate and 50% attack. So you can increase your attack and leech rate pretty substantially high and not really require a healer, because you're absorbing so much HP from opponents and increasing your attack while doing so, and then also blocking all the damage coming into you. This is a fantastic way to also stack with the Blades of Chaos, which also as a relic gives you another Holy Shield. So you can get a total of 6 Holy Shields running most of these this way. Okay, so I usually run maximum 4 of these, right? You could probably better off doing 3 if you can. Before them, if you have Janna, Arcadina, and you want to run 1 other Avenger, or if you want to do Makaria and Nyx and run another Valianter, and then run 2 Avengers with that, that works really, really well as well too. So very powerful, but still not as powerful as the Royals. Okay, all right guys, this is Payne. Hope this kind of broke it down for you. So let's go through the order here. Royals, easily the best one. I would say Deviants is number 2. Celestials are number 3. Okay, so this one's here. Number 4, I would say, are going to be the Dawnbringers. Number 5 are probably going to be Veridians. And number 6 to me, depending on where you want to use it, is going to be the Shadow Arch. Okay, so those are going to be the order of the best to the worst. Again, we'll do a full tier list on these sometime, but I hope this explanation kind of helped you guys understand it. Remember, the way to unlock these is you have to go to your actual hero, click on this, and go to their talent tree and push them through until you unlock it right here, which is called the faction synergy. Remember, factions, okay, factions like Empire, and these faction synergies are synonymous with one another. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.